Okay, this is how I get the bubbles out of my resin. So I have my resin marked out here. Just put a little A on these so I don't get them mixed up. So they're the A's and they're the B's. A is the resin and B is the hardener. So this is how, so you can see there's bubbles in them. And this is how I go about getting the bubbles out. So I get a little jar like this. And I put in some water. Now make sure it's not boiling water. So you just want some warm water. Now if you put in boiling water, these are little plastic containers, it can melt them. So you want the water to be warm, not boiling. Okay, so what I do then is I carefully leave my resin into the water. And just be careful, see they kind of float, that they don't tip over on you and waste your resin. So just gently leave them in. Okay, so I'm going to leave those for 10 minutes and come back. So you see here after the 10 minutes, the resin itself has lightened in colour and got nice and thin. You also see here that the bubbles have a lot of bubbles have come out, and the few that are left just sitting on top. So I just get rid of those with the lighter here, and I light it before I go in. Now you have to be quick with these because with them in plastic you don't want to melt it, so it's literally just bumping in. So and see there, got rid of the few remaining bubbles, and again just an in and out, and you see there, got rid of those bubbles as well. So I found, I'll just get rid of these bubbles here. Okay, so see there that if you're not quick, if you don't light it up out here and go in, you can melt the container a little bit. So I was lucky there, it only melted a small bit. So it's basically how I get it out, the bubbles out of the A and the B before I start mixing. So that actually helps. So you can see now why it's important to label them, because the resin has lightened in colour, so just in case you'd mix them up, especially if you're doing 4 like this. Just watch out that when you're moving them, I put down a cloth here just to dry off the bottom, so that when you're after you, that no water drips. You don't want water dripping off these into each other. So I just put them back in the container because I'm going to mix them in a little while when I get my molds organised. So now I'm going to mix the A and the B together. And mixing obviously adds bubbles in, so I found a good way to do this. My camera isn't focusing. Is doesn't matter whether you pour A into B or B into A. It's my crappy don't have a holder for my camera, but pour it onto a stick, because that breaks the surface tension, and you're trying not to reintroduce more bubbles. So then just scrape. It's important to just thoroughly scrape the sides, because when you've it measured, you're measuring in all of the epoxy. So see here, even scooping up there has created bubbles. So, but make sure to scrape out all, because you need even, this is mixed in 1-to-1 ratio. So it's really important to make sure that you scrape it all out so that you're not getting a bad set. container back in the warm water and mix in the warm water. And when you're mixing, you need to make sure to mix for at least 3 minutes, getting all around the side. So I don't have a camera holder, so I'm just going to show you the end. So I put my epoxy into the warm bath and I mix while it's in the warm bath. Okay, so when you're mixing, mix it slowly, carefully, and keep mixing till it gets completely clear. You'll see the little lines in it where you're mixing. So you want to mix it till it's clear. So that's it mixed. So I'm going to leave it to sit in the warm water while I get my molds ready.